Okay, good morning, good morning. Man, everything is backwards today. Even my iPad screen is showing upside down. All right, so what do we have going on here? The sky is falling. There we go. Today, 25th. Oh, I think we just signed on Google. All right, so we have the Dow 196. Just an ugly market. See, Thursday, 25th. So down, that's good news. Okay, good morning. All right, so back to this. Over on Market Watch for the economic calendar for the week, we had jobless claims come in, and the jobless claims came in a little bit less. 735 minus 684. So about 51,000 less. And then GDP rose to 4.3. So GDP rose 0.2%. So that could be as the economy opens back up again, the GDP is going up. And then today we have the Atlanta Fed president speaking, Chicago Fed president speaking, San Francisco Fed president speaking, and a Fed vice chair speaking. So that's 4 opportunities for them to tank the market further than what we're looking at right now. We don't have the heat map yet because we still have 7 minutes. Yep. 7 minutes until that updates because it's on a 15-minute delay. We have the Dow Jones Industrial Average getting clobbered again. It's down 179 right now, so definitely a red day in the market. We have the S&P 500 is down. Oh, what is that as a percent? Probably about a half, right? Yeah, 0.57%. So we have the S&P 500 also down 13 points, and then the big one, the NASDAQ, is getting clobbered here. it'll be mixed, but still down 28. So climbing back just a tad. Let me see something here, and we'll take a look at some selected movers here. Go back down to the 3-minute chart here. We'll look at the externals as well as the overnight. And we've got AMC trading up 21 cents to 922. It got up pretty good yesterday after market close, 974. And off its bottom of 875. So it hit 893 in the session, in the live session yesterday, then got down to 875 in the post market, and in the pre market got down to 882 twice on 2 wicks. It did rip up to 972 in the pre market this morning, and now it's, after an initial jump up to 974 on the first candle, on the very first candle. I think it was the first candle. Hold on, let me go down 30 seconds here. Couple candles, so a couple candle buy, that's pretty good there, but then immediately slap back down again because people are taking profits. If you take 12 cents and divide that into 74 cents, these are your day traders, that's a 16% profit they just got. So you can scalp and trade these things as you're looking at them. Okay. GameStop down 276 down to 111. I did read there was a price target of, I think, $200 on them yesterday by Jefferies, I think. See if we can pull this up. BofA Securities expects GameStop's very challenged results to continue. We know that. It was Jefferies. I know Jefferies was the one that did it. But anyway, so you have that going on. You have Tesla down only a couple bucks right now. And let me pull this up because I want to get that price target for y'all on GameStop. It's already gone off my news cycle. That's all right. We'll come back to that. All right, Palantir 2211 up 24 cents, and the S&P looks like it bounced just a little bit here, and it's holding, which is okay news. You have the VIX, the volatility index, down on the bottom. So GameStop down 263, down a couple percent. AMC up a couple percent, almost 3% now, up 27 cents to 929. Be very careful with these if you intend on trading them. Could be a volatile day. AMD down pennies. Boeing down 294 down to 236. Ford down 19 cents. But jumping off its bottom of 1172. It's a nice jump off the bottom, 2% jump off the bottom there. Would have been the time to get in. Intel down 9 cents. Microsoft up 27 cents. But heading back towards its traditional stuff here. Nvidia down 4 cents. It ripped too, 495.71. Divided into 505.71. So again, it had a 2% correction here. My SQQs are barely up. Now flat on the day. So that means I'm having a negative day. Yep, down $196 today. Hopefully you're doing better than me. Okay, so looking at some other things, we've got the Treasury yields are down, and that's why the market, I think, is recovering back. So when these yields go down, market goes burr. Market's going to go up a little bit. So the 10-year Treasuries is down 1.9 cents to 1.591%. The 30-year yield is up to 2.293%. So almost a percent gain on a percent. There you go. Again, we got the VIX. That's down here at 21.7. elevated since yesterday. Let's look at some other ones. You have Chevron down $2 because you have oil down. Light crude is down. Brent crude is up. So this will slight delay between Brent and light. Sometimes they trade opposite for a few days for light crude on the NYMEX to catch up. All right, so GM down as well. And we have old one, Oshkosh down 1.22, Roblox down $1.82 to 62.68. Just getting just significant downside pressure on this thing since when was that? 22nd, so Monday. PLT is up a little bit. US oil down 86 cents. Workhorse up 21 cents. And ExxonMobil down 1. So I'm going to take a look at something here. And Ryanair is going to be taking these 737-200s. So we're still waiting on the FAA certification for the 737 MAX 200, and Ryanair likes that, again, the Irish carrier, because it will get them 8 more seats than it will on the 737 NG, the 737-800 next generation. So they're going to gain 8 seats. They're going to gain, I think it was 16% in fuel costs, which the CEO said they were going to pass along to the consumer. So we'll see. Fair sale. That's funny because I read something last week talking about fair sales are done. You won't see $39, and then Southwest and Alaska come out with a fair sale again. Again, if you're ever going to travel, best day to buy airline tickets are Tuesdays. That's usually when the sales start. Let's go 3 minute here. We're on a buy already. All right, VIX going back up a little bit. S&P trailing down. So what we have in the averages, and let's see if we got our heat map yet. There we go. Again, red day, right? You have Cisco. Cisco is up. It's not hard to find the greens. T-Mobile is up. A little bit in the drug sector, but barely. Eli Lilly, Amgen, Bristol Myers Squibb, Pfizer up a little bit. Gilead down. Biogen up a little bit. The banks, you have the banks up, but barely. Usually there's a rush to value. The problem I have with the banks, at least very, very short term. Long term, in a recovery after, say, a recession or inflation or deflation or whatever's going to happen with that. I think inflation. The banks could get potentially hurt. They have until the 31st, next Wednesday, to increase their capital reserve requirements according to the FOMC and what they ruled on last week. So they have to increase their capital reserves, and these are the banks that are deemed essential to not fail. So JP Morgan, you got your Citicorp, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, etc. Some of your smaller banks. I did read in testimony yesterday in the Senate, somebody asked Yellen why BlackRock, with $9 trillion in assets, is not deemed essential, too big to fail. And basically BlackRock responded, "We're not a bank, we're an asset manager." So go figure. So that we'll see what happens with that. But that's draining, draining things. If we take a look, and let's go out a little bit further, and let's see where we're at on this correction here. And you may disagree with me calling it that, but that's okay. So down about 2.81% on the Dow. $2.6 on the S&P. and almost 9% on the NASDAQ composite. So off of its high, we're down 9%. You may not call that a correction. We'll see if it settles down. That's my worry, is that it doesn't settle down. If inflation comes in, numbers we have coming out tomorrow, we have personal income, consumer spending, core inflation. Again, they're looking at 0.1%. Trading goods advance report and consumer sentiment index for March. We'll see what that one looks like. Gas prices. Where we at? Gas. $2.87. So that's down a couple cents. But not California. California still keeps going up. 3.885. Oregon 316. Washington 323. Illinois now in the threes. 305. 301 in Pennsylvania now in the threes. New York still in the 290s. And same with Florida. Who's got the cheapest? Look at that. Indiana right next to Illinois, 2.67 versus 304. That's called taxes. 267 in Tennessee. 289 in Wyoming. All right, NASDAQ, what are you going to do here today? Down 61 on the NASDAQ, down 18 on the S&P. The VIX just took a big jump up. You'll see that here, and the S&P will usually follow that. Let me make this a little smaller. Get these numbers lined up here. There we go. All right, so now I'm up 1,500. So again, what I trade, and you should not do this. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not tax advice. However, if you think the market's going to go down, or if you think the market's going to go down further, there's a couple different ways you can trade it. The QQQs, okay, that's basically your ETF. Your triple Q is basically your NASDAQ index, okay. It's your NASDAQ index that will basically trade as it goes up. It will go up. The problem with that is as it goes down, it will go down. So people that invest in the QQQ, like an index fund, let me go to the daily. Sorry about that. Off of the high clip up here at 338.19. They're down 8.41%. Okay. So what I do, and what I did was last week, I bought the S triple Qs, which is a short. Okay. It's a short, and I bought it at 1365. And so when I bought that at 1365, I got hammered, and I got hammered to the downside. So I bought it. It's the 15th, 16th, 17th, I think. I bought it right here. So I bought this on the 17th before the FOMC. Then it went up to 1452. I held it, and then it went down to 1294. So where I'm at on that right now is, I'll tell you, I've got 1,000 shares of SQQQ. So what this means is when the NASDAQ 100 goes down, this goes up. Okay. So NASDAQ goes down, this goes up. Okay. So it's up 1.62% today. So today that's up, but I also bought 150 April 16th $15 calls, which is basically a short position on the NASDAQ, and this is a 3 times leveraged fund, which means if the market recovers and goes up, I'm going to get spanked hard. But as long as it's going down, I'll make money. So my options today is up. My stock is up 1.4%. My P&L on the SQQs today, I'm up 12.87% on those options. So that turns into about $1,350. So my SQQs. So altogether, my SQQ position today, I'm up 16.15. So what that means is that, you know, as this thing corrects, I'll be in this until it's done correcting. And so I've not made any trades today. I might do some scalping. We'll see how the market goes. And then there's different things that people can use to short the market as well. You know, a lot of people do the VIX, and you know, you can do something like the VIX-Y. And it's up 2.72%. So you could do that. So again, as the market goes up, the VIX-Y, this is another ProShares trust similar to my SQQQ. So same company running it. And again, these are designed to not hold overnight. To be honest with you, you should be selling them. I swing trade it. I hold it overnight because I want to get the pop. If there's any pop overnight. So this is another one that you could trade as it goes up, and you could say, okay, so off of its bottom, people that were invested in it, let me go to a 1 hour here and pull out and see where the low is. Here we go. 970. People that bought down here, let's say you're wrong, you bought on this candle here, you are already up 6%. Okay. Whereas mine, if I would have bought this on the absolute bottom at 1271, most recent bottom, you'd be up almost 12%. So my options are up 12%. My holding, my 1,000 shares, are only up 1.10. But I'm positive on both of those now. My options only turned positive today. So those, I wrote it down as the S&P went up. As the S&P goes up, you know, this will go down. So as this pulls down again, I drew this line back on the 15th of March, and I said, okay, if you look at a correction and say, okay, where's it going to go on the S&P? You know, we call about 7% or so off of its most recent high. So we'll see what happens with that if we come down to this level or not. You know, I had 3 levels that I drew on this. Basically, I drew a 7% level, a 9% level, and I think this was about 20% if it drops down to 3,200 or so. So we'll see. Yeah, it'd be about 20%. This level would be about 9.5, and this one's about 7. So 37.23, 36.46. What I'm worried about is if it comes down, and I don't know for sure whether this is going to happen or not. But everything's lining up for it to happen. If it comes down to here, my worry is that this support level here would be immediately broken so quick that it would take this 9% drop from the 7, only an additional 2%, and would blow through it. So if this old resistance line is new support, where support is right here at this 3,700 level, okay, and we're 176 points off of that. If it doesn't hold this level, very easily could hit this one. But if it doesn't hold this one, you should see a consolidation at this phase here, and then hopefully that'll be it. Hopefully we can turn, market go burn, market go up. My fear and my worry is that if this does come down a little bit, then we're looking at a full 20% on the S&P. So I drew that line there. You can apply it to the Dow and the NASDAQ. But again, you know, NASDAQ stocks are a little different because you do have some tech in there that just turned green, okay, on the day. So you do have some tech in there. So as the S&P is coming back just a little bit here, on a nice little upswing here. Okay. Still have our NASDAQ still down 39. Dow Jones is now down 176, but bouncing off of its low on the day. And VIX 21.7 coming down, S&P, but still 21.7 is high. Well, not historically high, but high. So you have Microsoft up, Apple up, Cisco up. All your chip makers are down. NVIDIA, Texas Instruments, Micron, Qualcomm, Intel, AMD, etc. Those are all down. Google, Facebook is up. Google is up 0.36%. Facebook 1.37%. Amazon up a little bit. Tesla down, but only 0.5%. McDonald's, Starbucks, Nike down. Energy is all down. Banks, regionals all down. Healthcare all down. Even entertainment, Disney, Comcast, Netflix all down. Charter down. Viacom, CBS down. Dish down. Live Nation down. I don't know why they're in that category anymore. Discovery down. You got to find barely greens here. Biogen up a little bit. Cisco up a little bit. Apple, Microsoft, Adobe, and Oracle up a little bit. Walmart down, but Costco up a little bit. Walmart down, Target down, Dollar General down, Dollar Tree down. So a lot of definitely a mixed day on the market with the majority of most stocks trading in the negative territory. And again, that puts us at minus 194 down on the Dow, minus 33 on the NASDAQ, and minus 13 on the S&P. So I'm bouncing from being up 1,500 to down a little bit. Now I'm up like 438 bucks. Back in 1 second. All right, we're back. Okay, let's take a look at our AMC. AMC now up to $9.59, up 53 cents. That's good. Let's look at our Bitcoin. I did buy some Bitcoin, or not Bitcoin. I did buy some Ethereum yesterday. I bought 1.5. I bought $2,500 of it, and I think 1588 was it? Hold on. I had an alert go off yesterday afternoon, and yeah, I bought well, exactly $2,500. I bought 1.56675 ETH at 1588.01. So, and then it's been vacillating right at that level, divided in 1596. Yeah, so I'm up like 1% on that. But it's been going back and forth with this level. And so you got your wish, Knight. I don't know if that's you that's watching right now, but I know you were looking at the 1500s. It dropped right through to 1600. So when I got alerted, it was still heading down. So I waited. I did not set another alert because I was looking at my phone and my iPad for trading as well. And what time did I buy that thing at? I don't know if this thing gives me a time. Yeah, it doesn't give me a time on the Coinbase Pro app of what time I bought it. I want to say it was around 6:30 my time, so 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. And then dropped a little bit more. I missed this 1539, and I got it coming up again. I want to say, yeah, somewhere in this range is when I got it. Because I put a limit order in and I just kind of walked away from it. And then the limit order I put in at 1588.01, figuring, okay, if it's 88, it's above 85, and the 88 get closer to 90, and it might break back through 1600 again. So we're at 1596 now on Ethereum. And again, my holdings now, because I did that $2,500 buy, I am now 88%, call it 88%, 88% Ethereum, 12% Bitcoin. The last time I bought my Bitcoin, I'm up 117% on. So the last time I bought Ethereum before last night, because I'm accumulating, I bought it at $14.50, so I'm about 130 bucks more per Ether than than the last time I bought it. Let's see here. So yay. So that was a good day yesterday. I don't mind if Ethereum drops when I'm looking to accumulate and buy more, because I think long term, once you have London, the London fork hit, and then they get rid of EIP, or they enable EIP 1559. A lot of people think that the price on Ether is going to go up after that happens, and that happens in July. So we'll see. The gas fees won't change though. The only difference is they took away the gas fees from the miners, and they're going to burn the ETH, allegedly. I still don't agree with that at all. I don't see how you can still charge people transaction fees of gas. Like, to make that buy yesterday, I paid $12.54 or something like that to make a $2,500 trade, right? In a day and age that, Coinbase is looking to go public soon, and you have, like Schwab only charging very, very small exchange fees on trades, but no commissions, right? And then they're making some on the spread, right? They're arbitraging, and they're going to make it on their arbitrage. So you're still paying fees. On Robinhood, you're still paying fees. Remember, if you're not being charged for something, you're the product, and they're going to get what they can out of you. Every time we open up an app, we basically give them blanket permission to pry into every other app, every other activity, every other web browser history. Everything that we do, we have to agree to, just to have the privilege of having their app. So every single company out there does the same thing. They gather as much data as they can on you and every other app you use, because we give them permission. And if we say, no, I don't like that, that's way too invasive and intrusive into my life, they say, well, you can't use our app then. So what do? You say yes, and we basically have given away our privacy in the United States. We have no privacy anymore. And it's unfortunate, but we are a country beholden to corporations, and we've strayed away from the Constitution. We've strayed away from from free markets in terms of just on the short side. When I pull up the level 2 trades here, let me show you on this. Let me close this. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, we're good. When we pull this up, and we're showing you the level 2 quotes, and let's go to Boeing. Okay, and I'll extend this one down a little bit. Okay, so I know Trey's trades. I watched his video last night on AMC, and I'll do this on AMC. Hold on, let me pull up AMC. And it's something we've talked about on our channel before in terms of the dark pools. And they're saying, OTC, okay, phantom shares. So anytime you see a trade where you have 3 or 4 decimal points here, so we're looking right here on the screen, this 990.011, 990.9825, 988.999, etc., those are all dark, what's called the dark pool. And on the level 2s, I don't have level 3 quotes, which are even deeper. But here's the problem, and this is why this is a game, and this is why it doesn't matter what the dark pool does, and it doesn't matter that we're what the short interest is in AMC. If they want to drive the price down, they're going to drive the price down. There's not much we can do about it. Squeeze or no squeeze, they forced themselves to learn how to better take advantage of people hoping that this thing's going to go back up and squeeze. And it may still. I could be wrong on this, but my spider sense tells me I'm not. So over here, the green and the red are self-explanatory. Okay, we're looking at the time and sales. These are level 2 quotes on the bid and the ask. So our spread right now is a penny: 10.02, 10.03, 10.02, 10.03, 10.04. So you buy 1,000 shares, it may tick up a little bit. But everything over here in the gray, or every time you see 3 or 4 decimal points, because I can't enter an order at 988, that was before. I can't. Wow, it dropped that much since the last time I looked at this. I can't look at an order at 10.11 and put in 10.1185. I can't do that. I can only trade on the pennies. Your dark pools, your institutions, your pension funds, etc., they convinced the SEC and FINRA, which are absolutely corrupt and it's all manipulated, that it would be in the best interest of the retail traders if we don't show what we're doing in the background, trading away in large blocks. And this came out in 2008 or 2003, I think. I think it was 2000. I don't know, whatever date it was, 2007, 2003, 2005, doesn't matter. So when you have large block trades, but you see these grays and you see 100 shares, 500 shares, 100 shares, you can look at some of these things, and I can't freeze it. There's some more. And that caused a big drop there. And you have these dark pool trades of these institutions and these hedge fund managers. And the downside to that is that it can be absolutely manipulated. And it is. So I hope that if you had profits in AMC that you took them. I took my profits. Shame on me. It's my money. I get to choose what I do with it. And then, but I've not reinvested that cash. I've got quite a bit of cash available to buy back in selectively. Oh, there's that stupid song again. Hold on. Which one is that? Let's try this one. Did that work? Yeah, there we go. All right. So these dark pool trades that you see here on these level 2s, these grays, they don't tell. The problem is they don't tell you if they're buying or selling. They hide the information. It's just like the short interest. The deck is stacked. This is the casino. The deck is stacked. The cards are basically fixed so that they can see all the cards before they deal them. So your hedge funds, your institutions, your pension funds that have all this data, they get to see everything that goes on in the market and make their decisions. Yet they withhold all that information for us in our best interest. No, it's not held against us in our best interest. It's held against us so they can manipulate and take our money. That's why they do it. Anybody that tells you otherwise, that it's good for the efficiency of the market, is full of shit. This is basically just blind open stealing. But if you understand the game, you can play against them as well. So you just have to understand the game you're playing. And if you understand the game that you're playing, then you can sometimes win, but not all the time. Okay. All right. So back to ETH again, 1609. I did my buy 1.56 Ethereum yesterday at 1588. I still like it at this level in the 1600s, but I'm not moving any more money over for right now because I'm waiting for a possible further drop if the markets drop further. What we do have, though, is the NASDAQ took a flip, and so NASDAQ is now up 6. S&P is down only 4, and the Dow is down 96, so we're trying to climb back here today. AMC up to 10.07 now, up $1.05. Nice run, 12% there. GameStop is up 16 points, up 13% for them, where we're up 11.5% on AMC. Palantir. Go to my 3-minute chart. Let me eliminate my externals. Yeah, 712, close enough. You'll see the S&P start to get a little bit greener on the 3-minute there. Let me see if here, scalping. Yeah, I missed it during all that talking. I wanted to do a scalp, and during all that talking, it flipped on me, and I wasn't able to get an order in. That's okay. Again, you're just picking a different level. I made money on Boeing the other day, and $300-400 on them, trading at 246. What do I care if I'm scalping if it's down to 237 now? I'm just looking for 237 to 238, 239. So its bottom was 211. Man, I should have grabbed some there. Dummy. Buy it into 237. You guys do that? You knock yourself for the trade you didn't make. You have to look at the bright side and look at the fact that you didn't lose any money during that time either. So you have that. All right, so now I'm down $442 today, while the rest of you are hopefully up now because I'm short and still profitable overall on my S triple Qs, even though it's down 6 cents. All right. Let's see what's up today. Workhorse. What are you doing, Workhorse? What are you doing up? Who woke you up? U.S. Postal Chief defends Oshkosh delivery contract decision. So awarding the contract to Oshkosh, it was always going to Oshkosh. I wish I would have done more research in the post office and Workhorse, because Oshkosh made all those other ones for them. They're not going to lose that one. That's like Southwest taking a bid from Airbus so that they can get a lower price with Boeing. So what the Postal Service did was they played them. They played Workhorse to the detriment of investors and got a lower price with Oshkosh and went with Oshkosh. And then that basically, pounded Oshkosh down from $42.96 down to $13. So people that said, "Yep, post office, they're going to get it. They're going to give it to them. They're going to give it to them," and some poor people bought it all the way up here, and they're down 64%. And then Oshkosh, however, do the same thing with them. You can say, okay, 66.74, and you made 69%. So 64% decline on one, 69% gain on the other. I'm just looking for opportunities here on my scan here. I mostly scalped companies that I know. 633 on Tesla. VIX is turning again. And you're going to have this. My worry is that all these banks got to come up with this money by next Wednesday, and whether they will or not, for the capital requirements. And let's see. So Fed raises capital reserves on banks. Okay, news. Okay. 6 days ago, there's going to be a paywall on that one. Here we go. Here's a Fox one. I just click on the first one. I type it in and I go to the first one. Usually. Unless I know it's a paywall. Like I know that Wall Street Journal is a paywall. So Federal Reserve says it will restore capital requirements for large banks that were relaxed as part of the Fed's efforts to shore up the financial system during the early days of the pandemic. So what they did last April was they relaxed the leverage ratios, and those are set to expire on March 31st. So they asked the Fed chairman, Jerome Powell, last Wednesday, what they were going to do, and he said, well, the Fed will release that tomorrow. And then they waited another day and released it on Friday, so it wouldn't crash the market. So what they're doing is they're not extending the relief, okay? And so the easing is going to be over. And so here we go right here. This is the meat and the potatoes. Where are we at? Here we go. This paragraph right here. The supplementary leverage ratio requires large banks to hold capital equal to about 3% of their assets. The required ratio right now is higher 5%. Is higher 5% for banks that are deemed most important to the overall financial system. The rule was adopted as part of regulatory reforms after the 2007-2008 global financial crisis and recession. The idea was to ensure that banks kept enough capital on hand to survive market meltdowns. Okay, so to market meltdowns. Okay. Another issue is that the Fed's Treasury purchases have flooded the banking system with cash reserves. These reserves lower a bank's SLR by increasing its assets. Total bank reserves now stand at nearly $3.5 trillion, up from roughly $1.5 trillion before the pandemic. And that's a problem with the overall market. The banks have the money and they're not lending it. They're not lending it. You have interest rates going up. The 10-year Treasury's been going up. The 30 years been going up. The dollar's been going up. So as yields go up and the dollar goes up, market goes down. Okay, so Treasuries are considered low risk. So you're going to have, I don't care what you say, what's going to happen is that exemption is expiring March 31st. Bank lobbyists argue that without an extension of the exemption, large banks will be less likely to hold Treasury securities. So if they sell the Treasuries, what's going to happen is the yield is going to go up even further, exacerbating the problem, and it could snowball into a market downturn to that 7, 9, 20% on the S&P 500. I've been talking about ad nauseum for the last week and a half. For the first time in like 15 years have I had this feeling of the markets, okay? And that's why I'm short the market right now. I'm short the Nasdaq. That's where I chose. I may do some SPY. That's what I should do. I should do some SPY. I'm not going to do SPY puts. I'm not that dumb. But I am dumb, and you shouldn't do what I do because you will lose your backside if you do. Look at SPY 398.12 is its 52-week range. It's at 386. Right into 398. 3% off of its high. Let me short that bad boy. Can I short SPY? Let's see. How's that SPY? I can't short it. Okay, but VIXY. VIXY is something that I may want to do. Hold on a second here. I might do something here. And let me put this in over here as well. Okay. All right. So the VIXY. Let's see, ProShares. You can do the EUO and ultra short the euro. You can short the treasuries, the Australian dollar. UVXY. Short QQQ. They've got so many of them. Okay, Look at breaking news first. Okay, so I'm looking at taking a position on the short for the S&P 500. I just like ProShares. This is S&P 500. Again, these are not designed as long term. They're designed as very, very short term. And I'm going to look at the options chain, and I'm going to look out to, yeah, May 21st. And I need to extend this over a little bit so I can see. And let me go into, there's the theoreticals, deltas, low deltas, there we go. Basic view. Hardly any. It's April 16th one's look like. This one is not as leveraged. This one mirrors as a short of the S&P 500. It does not. It's not a leveraged short like my SQQs. SQQs are I want to say a 3.9 leverage of the Nasdaq, where the SH is not. My problem with it right now is that, well, 1.7% it's jumped. So, all right. Okay, blue below the red. Had MACD had a crossover here. It's given a buy. Not oversold or overbought on my MF. So this might be something I watch for a little bit here. And let's see. I don't think there's any. So again, these capital requirements. Oh, Taylor Swift. Hello. How you doing? Walmart warns customers. Let's see here. After being asked to wear a mask, Cruise tells reporter you're welcome to step away. Okay. Jobless claims fall to 684,000, fewest since the pandemic. Okay. Georgia man receives final paycheck and pile of greasy pennies left in driveway. Are you kidding me? His former employer owed him a pretty penny, $915 to be exact. So what is that? 91,000 pennies. Oh, 915. Yeah, 91,500 pennies. There's no pictures? Psh. I want to see pictures of all the pennies in the driveway. All right. Anyway. As again, Europe, Brazil, ground zero hell, alarm bells. Deaths on rise again globally. Worst yet to come for some. UK pubs could ban customers who haven't had vaccine. Day after mea culpa, Merkel gives Germans virus pep talk. EU leaders faced with surge of infections and vaccine issues. CDC rejects cruise ship industry plea. So when you have the CDC deciding what businesses can and can't do, it's just wrong. Washington Post, Cuomo's family members were given special access to testing. Okay, who cares? Anybody that wants a test could have gotten a test from almost all of last year. Department of Health doc visited Chris in Hampton's home. Okay, well, whatever. Kamala's going to be the border enforcer. North Korea fires projectile into sea. Yeah, they've been doing that lately because Biden's president. Is Biden setting Harris up to fail? Well, border's already a failure, so got all those kids in cages again. Cages that Obama built, by the way. What is the future for conservative ideas? Support for carbon tax raises. Dem senators back away from boycott of white nominees. Just stop with the race thing. It's not going to matter. Look, here's the thing about race. In another 1,000 years, because of the propagation of population increase and the world shrinking as a social thing, you're going to be able to go anywhere you want within a few hours. We're all going to be a darker skin color in 2,000 years. It's just a fact, and probably less than that. Probably 1,000 years. We're going to be so blended. Look at your own family tree and say, okay, if I'm German, Irish, and Polish, and my kids now have some Scottish in them and some Lithuanian and other stuff in them, and then when they have kids, their kids, whoever they marry, is going to have a mix of a whole bunch of other people. We're going to be a darker skin color. You know, the color, the palette color of my skin of what it is right now. In 1,000 years, they're going to say I was basically looked like the color of a piece of white paper, right? It's not going to matter. So I hate the hypocrisy of the race baiters that are out there and use race on either side to push narratives, to push their positions. It's just wrong, and I just don't believe it. I should have bought it. I missed it. It's still not too late. All right, so let's go back to shares again. Darn it. I wanted to buy more. Point's still up. So I want to short the S&P. That's what I want to do. But I'm selfish and I think I can get it cheaper. And it's 7:30. So you got a mix. You got the tech stocks up just a little bit, but you got the VIX rising, S&P falling. Let's see here. That's 30-second. Yeah, darn it, Joe. 1727. Right off of its high. All right. I should be grateful for the $1,400 I'm up today. What do I have that's down? So down today I've got Ford is flat. Basically only, well, down 12 cents. My call options. I have 100 shares I own in one of my retirement accounts of Ford in case I want to buy a Ford Mustang Mach-E any day after July 13th, because then I'll have held it for 6 months. And that's a requirement to get the Family Friends X discount on a Ford if you're a shareholder. Some companies have that. Check individually. I don't know if GM offers it or Chrysler or Jeep or whatever. I should have checked last year. I bought my new Jeep. Let's see here. So my USO call options at $57 for next January. I'm down $31 on, and I'm down $50 on my Ford 14 call options. And those, I have no faith in those. I should. So down on that one. $1,600 on that option. Let me take that 475 right now. Ooh, OnePlus came out with a new phone, the OnePlus 9. All right, let's see here. Is he ready? Yeah, I should have. when I did this, boy, I should have done this here. See if I would have done this back on the 15th or 17th. Sorry, 17th. Right around this range. See, I'd only be up 2%, and my S triple Qs, yeah, I'm up 1.43%. But my options, I'm up 9% on my call options. So again, I've got 1,000 shares of the S triple Q at 1365, and then I bought the S triple Q's 150 call options for $15, and I paid 92 cents per call option on those. So I put about 13 grand into the shares and about 13 grand into the option, and I'm up on both of those right now. Looking for a turn on something to scalp for 20 minutes or so, but everything just looks so breaky downy of their lines. Look at this. Here's a break below, right? Boeing approaching, bouncing off of its 200, broke through the 180. Again, I try and front run stuff, but nothing with any type of buy signal right now with this volatility, and going into lunchtime in another hour or so. Oops. So what I've been doing in the afternoon, again, I think I already canceled, I believe I canceled this afternoon stream already. I will not be back on this afternoon for the close, and I'll show you why. What I've been doing. So on creator dashboard, here we go. So what I did was, I'm up $1,300 today. All right. What I've been doing is, in preparation for my house, where I don't get this. Seriously, where do my photos go if they're not on my phone? Oh, here they are. All right. So I did 3 on Tuesday, and then yesterday I did 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are all of some of my doors upstairs. I already did 3. This is the rest of them for upstairs. I got basically a 5-bedroom house that I'm going to be selling and taking the cash and running from Washington State, away from all the taxes and increased capital gains. So I took those 5 doors yesterday, and I already did 3 before that. And hard to see, but there's the, and these are not gray, these are white. So that was yesterday. So I basically sanded both sides of 5 doors yesterday, and then painted 5 doors each side, 2 coats with about 2 hours, 2.5 hours in between coats. And I used a primer and paint combination for coverage. And I just because I'm selling the house, I just did the Walmart, what is it, Color Pros Ultra, I think is what it's called. And so if you're looking for paint and you want to save a little bit, Color Place Ultra is what they sell at Walmart, but it's actually Glidden paint. So you actually get Glidden paint, but it's what they call that color at Walmart. So you can buy that at Walmart and save some money on paint that way, and know that you're still getting Glidden paint. So that's what I'm up to today. I've got they're all dry, so I've got to hang them all today, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 3 sets of closet doors I got to do, and linen closet doors that are bifold that I don't know how to take them off. I got to figure out how to take those off. The closet doors in the other 3 bedrooms upstairs here, those are easy to get off. I can take those off the track, super easy. You just lift, bend it this way, and then you can remove them. I've got linen closet, because I'm in a nook here. I've got linen closet doors that that I need to figure out how to get those off. Super quiet day on the chat today too, no questions, but that's fine. It's a down day. I know I'm not exciting today because all I'm doing is just watching my portfolio go up because I shorted the market last week. AMC up $1.27. Boy, that would have been a great scalp, huh? 14% if you would have bought that thing. Holy cow. Should I buy back in? No. 11.22. My mistake of selling my AMC occurs at 11.22. At that point, I'm an idiot and should have held them. But I took profit. And I should have taken profit last week. I should have taken it on Thursday. I thought I was doing the right thing with helping the squoze, and hopefully seeing brighter and seeing it go up to $20. But after all the manipulation, all the dark pool stuff, all the shenanigans they pulled on Friday, and I waited until Tuesday to sell it all. So I should have done it last week. I'd be up another 20 grand. Yeah, 20 grand of profits. But I made 11 grand. So altogether, I made like 14,000 off that thing. 11, 12, yeah, I mean 14,000 off AMC between December 12 to 14 and the options and shares that I had this time around. GameStop up 21.66. What's the sell rating on this? Neutral on GameStop, and AMC is a neutral as well. Analysts won't even commit to where they're at on the stock. All right, Tesla down to 627. They are down 2.9%. Watch the heat map. Get a little chillier there. Apple barely up now. Tesla barely up now. All right, VIX just took another trip north. You know, this thing, the VIX, you got to remember, last March, this thing got all the way up to 69.1. So 69.1. Actually higher than that, 85.5. So the 69.1 is right around here. Yeah, 30 March. So we're not at the lowest level 52 weeks because it was 2 weeks ago. That 7th or the 16th or so, 16th of March, the week of 16 March of 2020 is when it hit its high. Same thing with minus triple Qs. They hit its high 162.15 back in March, and it's at 14. So it's rode this line the whole time until its last push. I should have doubled down here. I should have put in another 1,000 shares and doubled my amount of call options. But I'm happy where I'm at. I got plenty of cash available to do buys selectively. I got a lot of margin power. Over $250,000 of margin power I could buy stuff with if I wanted to. So what's interesting here is as these markets turn again, and Nasdaq's down 92, Dow Jones down 227, S&P down 23, is that as these things go up, you know, my call options for the SQQs, those don't expire until April 16th, and I've got the $15 call options. So those, I'm up like $600 on those, and the SQQs, I'm up $700 on. So altogether, I'm up like $1,500. What else is up here? So yeah, on the day today, I'm up 1889 on the day. I still want to scalp something, but just, ideally, if we get any kind of recovery, you could say, okay, if you buy Microsoft here at 233.68, then man, it's going to go all the way up to 236. %1 on a declining, you don't want to catch a falling knife, right? So when you look at the S&P 500, and look at the banks, and they've got to come up with this increased capital reserves. I'm not, but yeah, they probably have trillions in reserves now because they're not lending, but they're creating this little snowball that's starting to gain strength, and that's my worry. Is that as these markets go down, my retirement accounts, other than 100 shares of Ford, I'm 100% cash right now. I should have shorted those too, but having cash available to buy something going up is a lot less risky than shorting something hoping it goes down or looking at a play. But I'm looking at this market, and I'm looking at this S&P, and I just don't see any. Look at this. I mean, it's just, my next step down is this 3,700 level on the S&P. It broke through resistance here. Got down to 38.87. So if it breaks that, intermediate 38.30, then all the way down to low 37s. So that's just on the S&P 500. I did not do lines on the NASDAQ because you still have companies like Apple and Facebook and everything else that are still going to should continue to do well, unless you feel they're overvalued, and people that have profits in it for so long simply take those profits away. I've had 3 dust particles on my lens that are bugging me. I'll be back in a second. Hey Barcode, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. I'll be back in 1 second. Ask any questions if you want, I'll answer them. All right. Thoughts on GNOG? All right, let's take a look at them here. Golden Nugget Online Gaming. Depending on, again, things are gonna go down in the market. So I have 2 things that I use to clean the lens of my camera. One's an air puffer. The other one is a brush. So what I'll do first is I'll blow it on the lens, and if that don't work, then I will go like this, get any things off of there. Here we go. And it looks like I'll have to use something else after stream. So I got a couple water spots or something on there that I got to get off of there. It's bugging me. There's like 3. You guys can't see them, but there's 3 dots staring at me. Okay, here's a problem. And I say that lovingly. All right, so you got a bottom at 1232. So you say, okay, where's my most recent support? And this is a 1-hour chart. So we're looking at the most recent support level back on the 5th of March at 1232. Okay. And so looking at that, year to date 36.85. They're on a sell. When did they report? So they're not going to report till June. They met earnings. I think that the risk comes in. Let's see here. And let's go to Yahoo Finance. Okay. All right. Nine days ago, they got a positive out of Virginia. So they now have 10 states. Okay, company now has market access to 10 states. Legislation and regulatory approvals. Again, it's online sports gaming licenses, right? They're given a temporary permit. That's good news. They will be proudly sharing our revenues with Virginia's historically black colleges and universities. No comment. As they gain more states, then yeah, but then you say, you know, what's going to be the better play, right? So if it dropped, they've been on a consistent, very consistent drop since they came public, right? Just drop, run up with the rest of the market all the way up to 1918. You know, that could have been traders jumping the shark there, taking that thing up. Now it's coming back down to where it was, which is its reality. So the question is, it already broke through this 1403. This is why I have pivots up here, so I ain't got to do line measurements. And you can get pivots on any trading software I think that's out there. I use TradingView. It was supposed to blow up since it had a good pay last quarter. It did blow up. It blew up 55% from the 5th of March to the 15th of March off of its bottom. So that is huge. So now you have all these folks with these green bars here, right, that took their profits. Now they're taking their profits. And now the very last ones that probably bought in up here are probably selling down here because they figure it's all over. So the pop is there, the pop is gone. You can't get that pop back. So what that means is it's going to trade one of two ways. It's either going to trade on its own fundamentals or it's going to trade with the market. This appears like it's going to be trading with the market, but you have people that, all these folks here, they got out in here. All of these folks here got out probably in here. The rest of them that are selling here, all of these folks are actually probably mostly these folks here, because these are your FOMO folks. So do you already own the stock? And if so, how many shares you got? You don't have to share the price. So I think a lot of people that bought up here were hoping for a further moonshot. I think these are the folks that all bought in here, the fear of missing out, that bought at this range from 16 up to 19. These are the ones selling here. All of these folks up to here sold in here. They got out before it crossed. Your FOMO folks bought in over here. I forgot, since I haven't checked out my Robinhood yet. On a down day, it's healthy to not look at your Robinhood account on a down day, because you'll just get depressed. So if you bought it in this range, that's who's selling it off now. So it's not trading on fundamentals. It's trading out of fear right now, because everybody that bought it over here and here took their profits either in here or over here and got out before, when it was up at 17. Then it vacillated, and then the rest of the people wondering, when it hit this one here, this was lookout below. When it broke not only the 200 but the 180 period, not day, averages on mine. My white is my 180, my red is my 200. And when the red is above the white like that, I mean, there's a problem. Then it was lookout below, but it's trading with the rest of the market. And as the rest of the market just gets hammered here, what am I up now? I'm up $4,200 today, because I shorted the market before the FOMC last week. So now you got to wait for the market to shake out. Put in like 400. Okay. You bought at 13 something. So if you bought at 13 something, that's where you're at now. You could average it. If this was me and you wanted to average down, you can say, okay, if I'm at 13 or something, I'm possibly positive right now. It hasn't discovered its fundamentals yet. So will this 12 turn into 8 or 9? If I had this stock right now, right this second, and I had profits on it, I would have been out of it already. But B, you have to ask yourself, is there a greater chance of additional money, or is there a greater chance of this rebounding and going back up? You have to do more due diligence, and you have to dig into their earnings, and you have to dig into their actual earnings release call and their financials that they released, and dig into what other states that they have applied to. I don't know what states that they can do business in. So maybe you know that. So we go to Golden Nugget Online. Golden Nugget Online, which states? What are the toughest states? New York. New York is probably like the well-known Las Vegas brand, 700 online games available, live casino games are offered, fewer games on mobile, no BlackBerry or Windows Phone support. Who cares? People still own BlackBerries and Windows phones? Sorry. Let's see here. Games and software, live casino and dealer, mobile casino, welcome bonus and promotions. That's normal stuff. Boom, payment options. They accept everything there. Limits, security. Nowhere does it talk about the states. So you have to figure out before you leave. Oh, I hate when they do this stuff. Look at what states that they're applying to. Dig into their financials. If you want to hold it, most of the pop is done. That 55% from 1232 up to 1918 is already booked. So those profits are gone. You're not going to get those back anytime soon. So what you want to look at is you want to dig into their financials. You want to take a look at what states they are currently approved in, and then you want to look at the big ones and find out if they're approved in them. The big ones: New York, New Jersey is huge. California, New Jersey will probably give them a flyer, but New York is the toughest one. And so if you look at where their application is with New York, and maybe they're already approved with them, I don't know. But if they're look at what states they're applying to, and then if you really want to dig into the next pop, take the largest of those states. Let's say it's New York and New Jersey, for example, and they've applied. Well, now, you want to go into the congressional hearings, if they had any in the state, on online gaming. You want to look at licensing and what news reports they've released, either the state, to find out what their sentiment is on online gaming. Because anytime you allow online gaming, what are you doing? You're punishing or breaking down your brick and mortar casinos. You're taking that money away, because then you do like we do when we trade. We can just do it on our computers at home. So take a look at that. I know that myself right now, which I don't, because I'm mostly cash. other than my short positions. But if I had profits in this right now, I'd be gone. But if you think the market was going to turn back north, if there's more downside, I'm saying that the downside on this at 1359, its next step down is 1232. Where it breaks down beyond that 1232, you don't know because it's so new for the online gaming portion of it. So I think that, you know, I would love the company. It's something I'm not into any of the online gaming stocks. I should have been from last year, but I was working on other things, and I was riding Boeing up and down all the way. So I know that's a long explanation. I hope that helps you out a little bit, answers some of your questions on where to dig. I'm into casinos, online gambling. There you go. So am I, apparently. What we're doing right here, right? This is pretty much online gambling. What I'm doing, I'm taking my money and I'm saying, okay, I'm up $3,380 right now. Why? Because I'm in this, and when the market goes down, I get to go up, and when I go up, it's going up quite nicely for me. And I don't plan to pull any profits off it right now either. So you've got look at this heat map here. You know, where's the green today? This is fear and greed. Look at these numbers. What that CNN fear and greed index? Watch this. Can you see that? Fear is at 35. Okay. So extreme fear. What are they waiting for? A week ago we were neutral at 55. A month ago we were greed at 57. Extreme fear a year ago, and a year ago, on March 25th, we'd already hit the low of the market. So look at the extreme fear, okay? So extreme fear is on March 25th of last year, and let's go to let's look at the S&P, and go out to a daily, and we're going to look at March 25th. Okay. March 25th is right here. Okay. Right here. All right. So the fear index 1 year ago today was at 17. But we'd already hit the bottom. We were already 2 weeks of hitting the bottom on the week of the 23rd. This week. So this is daily. So this was on the 25th. So we hit the low on the 23rd. On the 25th is when this fear and greed was 1 year ago, 17 extreme fear. That's when I bought Boeing. When there's blood in the streets, Rothschilds, right? The Vanderbilts. When there's blood in the streets, that's when you buy. We're not there yet. There's not blood in the streets yet, but it's getting there. We went from 57 a month ago to 55 to 40. This is sentiment. This is I've not watched this. I'm not downplaying what this video might say or not say. All I'm saying is when they're saying that there's fear, that's why you're seeing things like this happen. You know, what are we going to go down to here? Right? What are we going to go down to? There's a lot of risk still in this market. And if you don't, let's see, that's why I invested, right? Exactly. This is why we play. This is why we're in it. You can build generational wealth with this. And, you know, if you time things and get lucky, okay, this is total luck on my, you know, and I was an idiot last week. I even said it last week on my channel. I said, you know, on the 17th when I bought this thing, at 1365, right around here, I was wrong for 3-4 days. You know, the Fed chairman came out and said, the market's beautiful. We're in a beautiful spot right now. Everything's under control. Don't worry about treasuries going like this. Don't worry about the dollar going like this. Don't worry about yields going like this. Don't worry about us printing money so the banks will refuse to lend. Everything's fine. And I said, it ain't fine. And I blew it. I blew it because when it came down on that Friday or later on that day, and it hit this 1276, and even I should have wrote it up and bought more, and I didn't. I should have bought more. I was thinking about it. And I was like, what if I'm wrong? And I had a bunch of cash. So I was like, what if I'm wrong? As it turns out, it's worked in my favor, at least short term. Now, the problem that I see that we have isn't with my short because, again, this thing got up to 113. Look at this. This thing got up to 113 a year ago. Maximum volatility, big market drop, 11th of March, 162. Right? This is meant to be traded daily. It is meant to close your position, and I could easily get killed tomorrow and lose a bunch. But it's what I choose to enter into. The other one, I should have bought it earlier today, and I didn't. I had a buy signal here. I was right about here. Yeah, 1722. But it's not 17.22 divided into 17.21. Yeah, I missed about 1%. But that's the S&P, and the S&P right now is only down 33, less than 1%. The Nasdaq is down 1.21. So I'm 3 times leverage on the SQQQ. So this is a 3 times leverage. And if you look at the Nasdaq and you say where are we at on the Nasdaq, where are we at here? Look at the Nasdaq composite and go out to a daily and you say, where's the bottom? Where's the next support at? 1297, 12.5. Had a bottom wick here on 12.9, 12.2. You could easily see it breaking through those levels. And then if it does, do we get support at 11.9? Do we get support at 12,000? So I could do the same thing here. And I can say, okay, do we get support here? Call it here. Do we get support here? It's already broken through that, right? Or do we get it down here? Okay. And now we'll take a day and I'll go one more because this is my starting point. Okay. So now I just do this. The reason I do a vertical line here is that as I'm drawing these horizontals, sometimes I'll extend them out or pull them back or whatever the case is. And I'm looking at this and saying, okay, so if we're, now this is the NASDAQ now. So NASDAQ, we've already dropped 9%. Okay. Oh, I should have left that on. 9%. Okay. So there's 9%. Next stop down. This is just very rough technical analysis here. 14%. Next stop down, 25%. So you could still have a significant drop, and that doesn't even equal the pandemic low of 6,900. So at what point do fundamentals come back into play on stocks where things like PE ratios, forward-looking sentiment, earnings, new product development, new product releases, at what point do those come into play and judge the true value of a stock like Tesla? Okay. So you look at Tesla and you say immediately, where does your eye go to? I'll tell you where my eye goes. My eye goes right here to 396. That's where my eye goes to. And, Kathy Wood can say it's a $3,000 stock in 2025 because she's got millions of dollars in that position right now. And I don't know what her purchase points were on Tesla, but doesn't take a brain surgeon to look at these lines and say, Okay. And say, okay, I'm not a rocket scientist, but you know, this will be a drop of where it's at right now, another 37% or so. Yeah, 36.79%. So if it drops to this third level here, you know, and what does, let's see, let's take a look at Tesla here. And I've not looked at these support levels in a while. So it's calling, oops, let me get this chart down here. So what did I draw it at? You know, I've got a level of 404, 524. Okay, interesting. So it says the pivot is at 642 on Tesla. Support 1 is at 617. Support 2, 604. Support 3, 566. And I chose 572. So I can look at my pivots and look at lines and look at charts on a daily chart and say, okay, historically, this is where it's at. I'm right at, this is support 3 on your Fibonacci's and everything else. Support 3 is right there at 566.98. I chose before looking at that, up here at 529 or so, 560, somewhere around there. But I also see 400s. We don't know how far these things are going to drop. That's my point. We don't know how far they're going to drop. I don't see any good news coming forward. Cool, I'll try to buy some more stocks. Last on it keeps getting towards fear. Yeah, and it does. And you look at this and say, okay, a year ago, 2 days after the bottom of the market, so March 23rd, bottom of the market last year, on the 25th, a year ago, the CNN's Fear and Greed Index was at 17. A month ago, we were at 57, greed. I didn't see it. Should have shorted then. Neutral, we were at 55 a week ago. Previous close yesterday was at 40. Today we're at 35. Guess what it's going to be tomorrow? If we drop 5 today, based on the NASDAQ down 156, the Dow down 263, and the S&P down 26, this is probably dropping maybe even more than 5 points. I wouldn't be surprised. We'll look at this tomorrow morning, but I'll bet we're 27, 28 on their fear. And all that is the emotion of the market. You know, when did I sell all my stuff? I sold all my stuff last week. I took profits on stuff. I dumped all my US oil. I dumped all my Ford, both at a profit. I dumped my AMC this week at a profit, both my options and my stock. So I dumped all those. I lost on some things. I lost some money on NVIDIA calls that matured. I lost some money on 9 meters. I was profitable on the stock, but I was unprofitable on the call options. I still have my Ford options for, boy, I don't even know what those are down today. I can tell you. So I've got, and I've only got 50. I've got 50 call options. They're down $100 today. But my overall, I'm down. They're only worth $425, and I've lost $1,600 on those. But my shorts, as the market turned north here again, good. I'm up $3,200 on my SQQs, on my options and my shorts. So on a day that basically almost everything is red. Okay, and this is 15 minutes ago. Don't forget, 15 minutes ago. So you got Cisco, Oracle, Costco, Walmart, P&G, Kimberly-Clark, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Home Depot, and Lowe's. Utilities are up. Summertime comes in. Air conditioning go burr. Utility prices go burr. Utility profits go burr. And Tesla's down 1% only. So we'll see. Again, my vertical lines are only a point of reference that I use, so I can come back and look at when I did very, very quick DD to see if it's something that I want to get into or something I want to do. Again, I did not draw a line here. because it was too much of a divergence between. So this 38.79, we already broke through that. 38.70, we already broke through 38.70 over here. So we broke through this, but we also hit that earlier at 37.23 and 36.94. So, that was, February. This was March. So this was a good line I drew back here. And what I'm saying is that I think since we broke through that, its next stop, you might see a break at 37.50s. Then you're looking at your 3700s if it keeps going on the S&P. Nasdaq's another story. When you've got, you're probably looking at this 12,150 level on the Nasdaq. So 12,150. Oops. Divide into 12,822. This one. So you're looking at another 5% possibly if this continues. Again, unemployment. GDP came out, increased. Okay, how much of that is inflation? We'll see. Apparently the Fed chairs are out there talking today, and they're probably going to say things different than what Powell is saying. And you've got a red day. So we called this morning. We said, what do we have going on today? You have the frickin' Fed vice chair, and you have 3 separate Fed presidents of the Atlanta, Chicago, and San Francisco Fed speaking, 2 hours apart, 1 hour apart, 5 hours or 6 hours apart. So, and this is the San Francisco Fed guy. She talks after the market closes, 11 or 10. Yeah, this one talks in a little while here, another hour and a half or so. And 12 noon. This is all Eastern time, by the way. So in 45 minutes, the Atlanta Fed one. We'll talk. I have no idea what Richard Clarida said. If we go to CNBC.com, CNBC has paywalls. S&P 500 falls, the stock market continues March churn. So again, it's talking about. It's talking about the S&P, which is only down a little over 0.5%, but the Nasdaq's down 1%. What should their top story be? This is interesting, by the way. The cargo ship that got stuck in the Suez Canal could take weeks to move. Yeah, because the water is already up to the top, and the darn thing beached, and it's blocking both sides of the Suez Canal. So if you plan to buy something that transits the canal, it's either got to go by rail now or go all the way around. And to go all the way around South America, that is a problem. Okay. Super Bowl of tax reform is coming. Groups gear up for fight or Biden's upcoming plan. Again, market. Look at this stuff. They want to raise your taxes. They gave you all the stimulus money and everybody's happy. Yeah, I got another $1,400. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that $1,400 and I'm going to buy at the top of the freaking market. That's what people did. They took money and they put it in the stuff that they're now negative on because they didn't listen to people like me that were trying to possibly say, might want to build a little bit of cash before the whole thing starts imploding on itself. If you came to this channel for the rosy picture all the time, you're not necessarily going to get it. What you will get from my channel, and I don't care if this thing builds slow. I know I only got a couple people and one person over on YouTube watching me right now. That's not the point. I do this because I'm looking at this stuff daily anyway, and I'm trading anyway, so I might as well. I'm talking to myself while I'm doing it, so I might as well talk to you guys while I do it, and maybe y'all can learn something. But I do hope you appreciate that at least when I'm telling you things, I'm telling you my opinion of what I think is my truth, and I've never sugarcoated anything in my life. Every management position I've ever had with any company, I don't sugarcoat things. They're black and white with gray mixed in, and that gray area is all the market guesses, right, and the fundamentals. But when you take I take the totality of all, and then I make my decision based on the totality. The totality last week when the Fed chairman spoke, before he spoke, was I'm going to short the market. And then, I was like, the next day I was like, I guess I'm wrong. I'm down like 8 grand. What do? No, I told myself in my own head that I was right. And at least short term, right now, today, I'm right. I could be 100% wrong tomorrow. Market could turn around on a dime and go burr. I don't see that happening. But you've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average now off of its high. And it's only dropped 2.79%. So look where we were. Look at this. We were at 30,329. Right into 32,206. So we were 6% lower at the first of this year. And all of last year we were talking about how high we are. So as far as how far down this thing could end up going, that's why I have my lines drawn. I don't do it on the Dow because it's only freaking 30 stocks. And I can come over here and I can say, oh, banks are down. Oh, bigger tech is down. Oh, oil is down. Okay, I know what the Dow is doing. The Dow is down. I can look over here and I can look at this and I can say, okay, things that were positive earlier: Microsoft, Apple, Google, Facebook, Amazon, Tesla. If you look, again, the Nasdaq. You take a look at the Nasdaq Top 100, and you look at those, and I can go to right to the Nasdaq website. I think shows it. Here we go. Because I know I don't have a paywall on the Nasdaq. Okay, and view the companies. And look at your top 10 here as it builds it. Hold on. Okay. Apple, Adobe. Oops. Sorry. Market cap. Oops. Other way. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google 1, Google 2. Actually, Google 2, Google 1. Facebook, Tesla, Nvidia, PayPal, and Comcast and Intel. Right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I count Google as 1. Sorry, I just do. They trade pretty darn close to each other. So Intel on up, all these stocks here make up the top 100, and the percentage that they make of the total, they don't list it here. But if you take this whole market cap and you were to add those up, look at how far, 56 million versus, $2 trillion of Apple, 1.7 trillion in market cap for Microsoft, 1.5 trillion for Amazon. Google combined 2.7 trillion. Facebook 800 million. Tesla 600 million almost. Nvidia 306 million. PayPal, Comcast, Intel. You can look at all these and you can say, okay, I can look at the map. How much are these still overvalued? Are they overvalued? Are they legitimate? PE ratios, are they legitimate? Fundamentals, earnings, EBITDA. So it's something that when I can look at those, I can look at this and say, yep, Dow is down. Looking over here, I'll look at the financials and energy, and those are going to take a look at my Dows. My S&P 500. I can look at these over here as well, and I can judge based on these. I can look at the Nasdaq and say, oh, yep, Nasdaq's getting pounded. Down 143. Now let's look at the levels on the day. So low of the day, 12,788 divided into 12,820. It has bounced literally 1% off the low. Okay, so 1% off the low. The Dow low on the day 32,071, right into 32,219. Oops, darn it, gotta redo it. Sorry, 32,071 divided into 32,222. 1%. So it's bounced back a little bit, but 5 minute, or let's go 3 minute. Scroll back out to the start of the day. There we go. Right here. Okay. So we're off the bottom. Question is, can we hold? VIX is at 22.7. So my S Triple Q's probably have a sell rating on it right now. Nope, still holding off of an initial buy of 1409. If I change it and take away the Heikin Ashi, it still didn't give me a sell. Huh. Interesting. Because it's only 4 points off of its high. What is up today? AMC and GameStop. 1092, I'm getting proven wrong. I should have held on my AMC. I never should have sold. Paper hands. Paper hands. 1092 up 21%. There's your scalp for the day, folks. Would have followed this over here. And GameStop. Look at GameStop too. 36%. So 20% on AMC, 37% on GameStop for a Thursday. Be careful if you're plowing back into those. Palantir, I tried to trade that yesterday and lost a little money on it, like $200. Because anything under 25 used to be a buy. So now that anything under 25 is turned into anything under 20, back to the 5th of March, 21. You're at 21 now. I like the company. I want to buy some Palantir. I do want to buy some more Palantir. I want to load up in my retirement account. Probably, let's see here. If I can pick up, yeah, we can look at this one. My retirement account has 100 shares of Ford in it. That's it. And I'm still up $211 on it. But I can get, oops, what? Whoa, hey, slow down there. I made that box bigger. There we go. And let me type in PLTR. Palantir. And let's say I wanted to put, no, not that many. Maybe I want to buy 2,000 shares of Palantir, which would be about 43,260. So the problem I have is, at what point do I buy? Well, I have to wait until the market decides if it's done correctly, because this is going to trade with the fundamentals of the market until it bottoms. Because what you want to start doing is you want to start researching companies that you like, and companies that once the bottom is in, whenever that is, it could be 3 years from now. Who knows, right? Irrespective of what the market does, will they still make money and beat their earnings during a flat or a very oscillating sideways market, or in a down market? What will go up? Well, in the past, oil would do well and banking would do well. The problem I have with the banking sector is that if things go south here, inflation, rising yields, they got to sell their treasuries, and they're getting hardly anything for the darn things. Even if the markets go down, the Feds can't lower rates anymore. We're basically at zero. So if the Fed funds rate is basically at zero, they have nowhere to go on that. What other stimulus can they provide? They can't. There is none. There's no more stimulus left. There's nothing left to give as far as stimulus. The next bills you're going to see out of Congress are going to be infrastructure related, and they're going to be higher taxes. And the higher taxes, both on a state and federal level, I think they're going to, Washington State is looking at introducing a capital gains tax of 9%. California is going to try and push a capital gains tax on realized gains as well as unrealized gains. So imagine you hold Apple and you've held it in a taxable account for 10 years and you're up 1,500% right now. California says, yeah, we want our taxes on that money. Yeah, we don't care if you own the stock or not. We don't care if you sell it down the road, but you need to pay taxes on it now. Yeah, we'll figure out that other stuff when you sell it, and we'll even it out then. So they want taxes on your gains now. The federal government, in terms of raising taxes, which is what they're going to do, somebody's got to pay for all those stimulus bills. It's going to be us in terms of additional taxes. They will raise, I think, the capital gains long term and short term. I think they're going to raise both of those. And they are going to try and institute a financial transaction tax, which means we're not paying commissions, we're paying small exchange fees now. And let's say that there is a 1 to 2 cent tax on every single share you buy and sell. Add them up. I buy 2,500 shares, and I have a 0.01, a 1.5 cent tax on that. That's $37 for a $43,000 buy. That's $37.50 that goes to the feds if they enact that. And so when you have inflation going up, treasury yields going up, oil going up, dollar going up, market going down, then throw taxes on it, what the government is looking is they're looking at taking gasoline called taxes, and it's the fuel. That's the fuel for the fire. And then it will snowball, and you have to ask yourself, what could the Fed do to get us out of it? Nothing. Print more money? Where they technically don't print money. You can call them, Chuck E. Cheese tokens. But you can take the money that the banks, that the Federal Reserve gives to the banks that turn it into treasuries that the Fed then buys back, because the Fed's been buying assets, and you look at that creation, and you look at the Fed, and you say, give it a second to catch up here, and you say, where are we at on this, right? Where are we at on it? You look at Fred 1, and then come around, and then you say, okay, well, let's look at Fred 2. I call them Fred 1 and Fred 2, M1 and M2. Okay? And you say, who's going to pay for all this? Look at this, steady rise, QE, quantitative easing, just taking money right out of the air, right out of the atmosphere, and creating it, and saying at some point we got to pay for it. Japan's been doing that for decades. That's why Japan has still never gotten back to its historical highs. If you take the Nikkei, I don't know how to spell it. Here's a Nikkei, K-E-I. Nikkei 225 index. Do I get this? I don't know if I get the NKY. I do. Okay. All right. So now, how far back this is gonna let me go? Oh, here we go. Monthly. I got news for you. If you had invested, let's say you're a Japanese investor, and you had invested back in the late 80s, 39,260. Okay, they have never gotten back to where they were in 1989. They never got back. You know why? Because they started quantitative easing, printing money out of midair, and while our markets went up, we started to do the same thing, and their markets went down. Now they're bouncing back up again quite handsomely since 2012. Up 274% since 2012. And granted, yes, everybody that bought back here, I'm sure, has been well out of it or whatever. But this is what quantitative easing does. That's what QE does. That's what Japan did. And you can say, okay, since then it's worked out well. Okay, maybe, but this is set up. At some point, it's got to correct. It's got to come back into. Oops, I didn't even realize that screen was up there. It's got to come back and correct. And when it does, that's when we're going to see things happen. So bright spot today, again, AMC, and we're gonna end this here. And again, I will not be back this afternoon. I've got more stuff to do. around my house here. Let me see something here. I don't think I scheduled the stream for this afternoon. I think I already removed it. I will see. I did. So I did not have a stream schedule for today. I will be streaming twice tomorrow, both in the morning as well as in the afternoon through close. So I will be back tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning I will be back at 6 a.m. I started late this morning because I didn't have doors on my bedrooms and I didn't want to wake my son up while he was sleeping. So I delayed the stream until he normally gets up, which is basically market open, because he starts his day doing his IT stuff at 7 o'clock here Pacific. So I was kind to him since we didn't have doors on our bedrooms last night because they're being painted, or they were drying. They're still drying. They're downstairs. They're dry. I just got to hang them, which is what I'm going to do today. So AMC, nice jump up today, up 20%, pulling back a little bit. S&P is recovering a little bit. It's recovered with S&P is now down only 11. The NASDAQ is down 88. And the Dow Jones is now down only 87. So definitely some opportunities there. And I'm looking at my retirement account saying it's down $6 and I'm freaking out. I'm still up 1,700 on the day. So I was up 3,000. I should have sold my triple shorts and bought back in again. Should day trade that. So that's where we're at on the markets. So again, Dow's down 97. NASDAQ only down 92 now. Recovering a little bit on those. GameStop is up 37%. AMC is up 20%. And a lot of mix now. We'll see this brighten up a little bit. Just a little. Walmart, Costco, Oracle, JP Morgan and the banks are back positive. Home Depot and Lowe's are back positive. Walmart, Costco positive. Starbucks positive, etc. And then we've got the Dow. Oops, click. A little bit of a recovery there. NASDAQ, a little bit of recovery there. And the S&P, a little bit of recovery there. So that will do it for today. We will be back tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. I will be on time tomorrow morning because it's Friday, options expiration day. And so we'll see you then. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate your support. Have a great rest of your day. And don't freak out over this stuff. If you listen to the channel, we've been talking about what is occurring right now for the last 3 weeks. So thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Take care. Have a great day. I'm Crypto Sonar. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. Bye now.